This is one of my favourite one-day rides. It takes backcountry roads and also includes about 100 kilometres worth of gravel road. From home I head up to Colburn and then up to Singleton, and then I'll take some very minor roads from there. The day has started cool and misty, really nice for riding. It's January and the vines are heavy with grapes, ready to be picked and turned into wine. From Singleton I need to stop and get some fuel before I head into the back roads. Just across the road from the petrol station, a colony of bats have taken up residence in the trees. I bet the locals aren't happy about that. They're noisy and dirty. Not my problem though, as I head off the main road and into some minor roads. This is where I like to ride. No other traffic, plenty of things to look at, nice and windy. The road starts out as good bitumen and goes through a number of fords. Last time I was here, most of these had water running over them, but it's really dry this year. On these roads, it's a good idea to keep your eyes open and take care. These guys had no real intention of moving off the road for me. But fair enough, it's their road and I'm just passing through. After a few k's, the gravel road starts. I always feel as though I'm on a real adventure once I'm on a gravel road. Even though the scenery around hasn't changed, the gravel road makes it a little bit more challenging and much more fun. I love these back roads where you have the road to yourself. I never saw another vehicle along this whole stretch of about 30 kilometres. It's reasonably high up here, but it's a bit hazy still from this morning's fog. I've got all the gear I need to store either in the glove box or in the tank bag. I use the tank bag for things that I want to get out straight away. The glove box holds a water bottle, extra gloves, tripod, hat, and tools and pump and all the other paraphernalia that I feel as though I need. That's right, I've got insecurity issues. It's a really good, well-maintained gravel road. You can see that the base in the wheel tracks is really hard, and you can lean the bike reasonably well on that stuff. But you just need to be careful not to get over into the ball bearings here, because that stuff is really slippery. Rats. That 30 kilometres of gravel road went really quick. Back onto the bitumen. I've been heading towards Scone, basically paralleling the highway not too far west from here. And this road zigzags across a river and goes around Glenbourne Dam. Now I start heading east towards the mountains. The river at Gundy is completely dry. I start to get my first glimpse of the mountains that I'm heading towards. This is why most Aussie bike riders don't ride at night. There are very few country areas in Australia where you won't get jumped on by a kangaroo if you ride at night, or run over by an emu during the day for that matter. Good to see one river has a little bit of water in it at least. Just out of Moona Flat there's a nice section of a few k's of butte winding road. I'm going to stop here at Moona Flat for a bit of a break and have a nice little drinky poo at the country hotel. The publican was friendly and kept me amused with his anecdotes until I finished my drink. I was the only one there. This is one of those pubs that doesn't have to pretend. It's a real old pub. But it's time to get going again. Yeehaw! Back onto a dirt road. This road winds its way up the top of the mountain and then down towards Gloucester. There are heaps of views as you climb up the mountain. This ride took quite a lot longer than it should because I kept stopping and taking photos and looking at the view. But I guess that's what it's all about, and I've only got myself to please on this ride. Wow, a bit of Armco. What luxury. Up top there's a dingo fence with a gate that needs to be negotiated. The road follows ridge lines. It's wide in most places and really good surface at the moment, so you can really hoot along on this road. But there are a lot of wallies in four-wheel drives. I actually got run off the road at one stage in a tight section where the four-wheel drive simply wouldn't give way, so I had to drive into the ditch and stop. But he was an exception. Most cars are very courteous to motorcycles along here. I went for a bit of an explore up a side road. There are heaps of these and almost an unlimited opportunity to just go into the forest and be on your own. Back on the main highway again, and it's easy to do 100k along here. They've done a good job of the road surface. It's nearly 1500 metres up the top, and the temperature has dropped about 7 degrees. There's a little picnic area here, and I stopped for another break. After the break I started heading down the mountain, but to my surprise I found that it's all bitumen. It's just been recently done. It's still got gravel on the top, but once it's swept, it's going to be a really nice ride. Rather than go into Gloucester, I've cut the corner off by taking another dirt road that goes across to the Buckets Way. From there I can head straight back to home. But before that, it's time for another little diversion. I'm a bit hot, and so I'm going to have a bit of a play in this Ford. I've muted the sound because the cicadas are so loud that they drown out everything else. Oh well, here's the end of the gravel road and back to bitumen. It's actually a nice winding road from here out to the Buckets Way. And I won't be bothering to video anymore after that. It's just a boring ride back home from there. It's been a very enjoyable 480k loop with about 100k of gravel road.